today. We have a conversation for you because the Ghana Medical Association and the minority on the health committee say they will not have any of that. And we have an update to it. There's some breaking news coming through right now regarding this Tamale Teaching Hospital debacle, the drama that ensued yesterday, that verbal exchange between the Minister of Health and the officer in charge, and then the subsequent firing of the CEO and the replacement today. There's news just coming through minutes ago. In fact, just some 30 seconds ago, we got a statement from all the health, that's the doctors at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, have declared an indefinite suspension of all emergencies and outpatient services. That is the news coming through right now. Stay with us. We have a statement on that, but let's settle for Ghana Briefs.
The president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Jumfor, has called on the Ghana Police Service to cause the arrest of New Patriotic Party 3rd Vice National Chairman, Alhaji Masawudu, for threatening comments against Major General reporters. Alhaji Masawudu threatened to assault journalists from Media General if they turned up at events or engagements organized by the MPP.
We condemn them in no uncertain terms and called on the MPP 3rd National Vice Chairman to withdraw his reckless comment and apologize for same. If the MPP 3rd National Vice Chairman fails to withdraw those reckless comments and threats, we shall hold him responsible for any attack on TV3 reporter or reporters at the party's program or anywhere close to the party's office. We call on the Inspector General of Police and his team to immediately invite or cause for the arrest of the MPP 3rd National Vice Chairman.
The Ghana Armed Forces GAF has reiterated its unwavering commitment to safeguarding the lives of civilians and protecting property in Boku as part of its broader mandate to ensure peace and stability in the region. This assurance was given by the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Lawrence Kweku Betanu, during a press briefing following a working visit to the conflict-prone area. Addressing the media, Major General Betanu strongly condemned the recurring incidents of violent unrest and reaffirmed the military's dedication to restoring calm.
The Ghana Armed Forces, in collaboration with the other security agencies, have been managing the crisis over the years, and we remain steadfast in our commitment to restoring peace and security to Boku. We have witnessed an escalation of the conflict in the past few months. This has led to indiscriminate killings in the area to the extent that even security personnel had been targeted. The Ghana Armed Forces condemns all the killings and the cowardly acts in no uncertain terms.
A new proposal to revise the 25-year age limit for Okada riders to 21 has been tabled before Cabinet. Minister for Transport Joseph Bukari-Nikbe said the age limits, which triggered uproar among Okada riders, has necessitated a delay in laying the bill before the Subsidiary Legislation Committee.
The age limit that we were looking at 25, but others felt that it was too high. But our laws indicate that before you can do any commercial business, you should be age 25. And we cannot take off Okada riders alone out of that law. And so it has taken us back for me to prepare and send another amendment. And so I have presented it to Cabinet for us to look at how we will look at the age in general for commercial purposes and bring it down from 25 to 21.
The government of Ghana and Goldfields Ghana Limited have agreed on a transitional agreement for the Damang mine to ensure its continued operation and long-term sustainability. According to a statement signed by Minister Felix Kwache Fosu, A new 12-month mining lease will be granted to Aboso Goldfields Limited, a Goldfields subsidiary, pending parliamentary ratification in May 2025. This arrangement will allow open pits mining to resume during the transition, protecting jobs and supporting local communities. President John Dramani Mahama has appointed Dr. Abubakar Bawa Abdullahi, a senior official of the University for Development Studies, UDS, as the new Chief Executive Officer of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. His appointment follows the dismissal of Dr. Adam Atiku following an altercation with the Minister for Health recently. The new CEO, Dr. Abukari Bawa Abdullahi, is a native of Karaga in the northern region.
We heard the minister saying that the appointing authority is not supposed to consult anybody for such a decision. No, I mean, Ghanaians put him there. The action to get the CEO sacked is something that we condemn.
We here, we don't know what went into it before he fired him. There are certain steps that when you do, definitely you can be fired. Once life is lost, you need to be, some examples need to be set for people not to repeat them. So we can't stand here to blame a minister for what has happened. I think that we have to look at the whole system, what has caused the death of the person. If he is the head of the hospital and through their interaction he believes that at that point in time he needs to take him off and let the hospital run well, let it be done.
There's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live as well on 3FM 92.7, also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, and on DSTV channel 279. We're all across the world on 3news.com. Aside what I just mentioned to you, the news just coming through is the development at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. The doctors there have just declared the suspension of all emergency and outpatient services because of the sacking of the former CEO, because now there's a new CEO that has been named today. Now, this is a matter that we're going to be getting into quite strongly here on Ghana Tonight. But before that, also, we got some news. This evening, before we came on air, there's been some changes at the helm of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Yoko. And this is it. It's going to be on your screen right now. Because Raymond Archer, on-time investigative journalist and intelligence specialist, has been elevated to the position of acting chief executive of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Yoko. Now, this comes after the reassignment of the previous acting executive director, Abdullahi Bashiru Dapila, to the National Security Secretariat to serve as a technical advisor. So the man you see on your screen right now is the newly appointed acting executive director of the Economic and Organized Crime Office. Raymond Archer has a long history in anti-corruption investigations since 2019. He has led a covert investigative team known as the Opponents Research Group, ORG, which specializes in uncovering financial misconduct and organized crime. His association with Yoko dates as far back as some 14 years and over, where he served as a lead United Nations consultant in the drafting of the Economic and Organized Crime Office Act 2010, Act 804, the law that formalized Yoko. So this is the man we're talking about. His return to the institution in a leadership role is expected to enhance its investigative capabilities. With over 17 years of experience in national security, intelligence, and risk consulting, Raymond Archer has worked across Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. He's a certified counter-fraud specialist and has provided consultancy services for international firms, including KPMG, and Risk Analyst UK, and many others. In fact, he also owns a cybersecurity firm with partnership with top Israeli cybersecurity companies and many others that we do know what he has done over the period. For those who are vexed in the intelligence circles in this country, want to find out whether this comes to them as a surprise or not. And one man whom we have been engaging consistently on matters of security and intelligence is a former operative of the National Intelligence Bureau, or the then Bureau of National Intelligence, BNI. That's Mr. Richard Commodore is joining us on Zoom right now. Mr. Commodore, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. This announcement of Raymond Archer taking over the helm of affairs as the Yoko boss from the deputy that he was until today, how does it strike you?
So, you have elaborated the background of my brother Raymond Archer. What people don't know is that those who set up the Yoko, from SFO to Yoko, one of them or three of them were top high-level BNI officers and they are lawyers. One of them is called lawyer Richard Akron. He's still around. And if you look at their background and what they did at Yoko, probably they didn't set up a statute for themselves, so nobody remembers them. If you look at another specialized area like the Financial Intelligence Center, which is FIC, it was set up by another top lawyer and somebody with experience in investigations and intelligence from the BNI. He's called Mr. Samuel S. Thompson. The reason why I'm giving you this history is that organizations such as Yoko and FIC and many of those ones that were set up, they were set up specifically, and you will need some level of skill setup to be able to survive there. Those who know my brother Raymond and how he has operated over the years, this is somebody who doesn't sleep. And he's somebody who is very, he's committed to the job he does. And he has some methodologies that suit his style. And if you don't find yourself within that space, there's likely to be issues. So for me, I wasn't surprised at all. I thought the president was going to appoint him as the director general in the first place. But then again, it is the prerogative of the president to decide who plays in his team and which position he places people at what point in time. So for me, I'm happy for him, and I'm so glad for him. And I wish him well. He should keep on going, and he should keep on going forward.
And I do thank you very much. And then maybe brief words on this matter. And then quickly, knowing his experience for this, maybe briefly before we go, Mr. Commodore, knowing his experience in this particular circle, and then now leading Yoko, what do you expect from him, especially because of the experience that you talk about and his involvement in even drafting the Yoko Act in the first place?
One of the things I expect him to do is to quickly establish a working relationship with the FIC, the Special Prosecutor's Office, and Attorney General in particular, because this is a statutory environment. When we work as a private consultants, we have some leverages. And now you work within the political arena, and all eyes are going to be on you. Once you can have the Attorney General at his back with the positions of government in relation to what is to be done and what is not to be done, he will be fine. Number two, he should bring on one or two people, maybe his junior brother from UK, Raymond Bayo, those he has worked with over the time, and they will help him to push it up. Number three, many of the difficult cases that could not be cracked by certain people because of their disposition, I believe they will hand over those cases to him. And knowing who he is, I can only wish him well and say, keep on going, bro.
All right, thank you. And Richard Commodore is an intelligence and risk analyst, also a former operative of the Bureau of National Intelligence, BNI, now the National Intelligence Bureau, joining us on this matter. There's more of this on 3news.com. Kindly make some time and visit 3news.com. But coming up next, the woes of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, really, what's next after the showdown and also the verbal exchanges that we saw yesterday? And as we do know now, there's a new CEO. I'm going to show that to you in a bit. My colleague and Northern Regional Correspondent, Christopher Malcon, is going to be joining me shortly on Zoom. But the news just coming through, this is breaking news coming through right now in this particular matter, fresh on the plate from the Tamale Teaching Hospital. And that statement we got is going to be on the screen right now. This is some breaking news coming through just a few seconds ago from the Tamale Teaching Hospital. The doctors there have taken a decision, and this is it. So following our earlier emergency press release today, the Doctors Association of Tamale Teaching Hospital held an emergency General Assembly meeting at 12 noon. The outcome of this meeting is as below, that with immediate effect, all members of the Doctors Association of the Tamale Teaching Hospital have proceeded on an indefinite suspension of all emergency and outpatient services, general OPD, antenatal clinic, specialist clinic, pediatrics OPD, all to be affected by this decision. Inpatient care shall continue for our clients currently on admission until they are safely discharged from the hospital. Our demands: 1, unqualified apologies from the Minister of Health, Kwabena Kando, and the Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Alhassan Saibu Suin, who is also Deputy Roads Minister, should be rendered to Dr. Valentin Akopo, all doctors of the Tamale Children's Hospital and staff of the Accident and Emergency Department. We shall resume provision of emergency and outpatient service after we receive the said apologies. The management of the hospital should ensure that the following are available in the short term for us to work effectively. 1, constant flow of water through the taps for the clinical work. 2, stable electricity supply in the hospital. 3, constant supply of oxygen. 4, provision of consumable items such as gloves, the gauze, cotton, face mask. Also, they have syringes, disinfectants, glaucoma strips, plaster. Many of the things that they're asking for, they say basic medical equipment and also supplies. They don't have it. Constant supply of reagents to ensure continuous availability of essential laboratory tests within the hospital. And what we're learning is that, as apart from that, they want 4 ventilators at the Accident and Emergency Department, also fixed. 4 ventilators at the intensive care unit, fixed. 2 ventilators at the pediatric emergency ward, fixed. 2 ventilators at the neonatal intensive care unit, 2 ventilators at the maternal intensive care unit, many of them. 2 transport ventilators. They have 2 transport incubators at the obstetrics and gynecology department. They're asking for all this. Service and repair the 1,000-liter autoclave machines at the CSSD. And then in the medium term, they want the following to be provided: an MRI scan machine that does not use helium, a CT scan machine that has an infusion pump, a mammogram or mammography machine. Also, they're asking for a C-arm machine at the main theater, 2 mobile X-ray machines, ABG machines in all intensive care units of the hospital, and 1 at this accident and emergency department. There are quite a lot of them, in fact, a lot. This tells you, it's almost as though the hospital is operating with no functioning equipment, because what they've listed there navigates the path of what we are seeing right now with respect to the concerns that the minister expressed yesterday. Now, if these basic health equipment consumables are not present in the hospital, who bears the ultimate responsibility? That's the fundamental question we're all asking tonight. But let's get an idea of how bad the situation is. Christopher Mwako visits this hospital, by the way, together with the people in the northern region, Tamale specifically. They understand, they come face to face with what we're talking about. Chris, I appreciate your time joining us. The list of items that the doctors in the Tamale Children's Hospital are asking, from basic to the other equipment, medical equipment they're asking for, it paints a very gloomy picture. How bad is it as we speak?
Yes, Alfred, I must admit that the situation at the Tamale Teaching Hospital is very, very bad. In fact, it's moved from bad to worse, because if you visit the hospital, you will feel for the patients and the medical officials working at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. In fact, in the public domain in Tamale, for instance, people are even calling for a shutdown of the facility because it's the biggest referral center in the entire Northern Enclave. But when you go there, even a CHIPS compound, excuse me to say, looks somehow better when it comes to the availability of medical consumables. For instance, the basic consumables that these medical doctors are demanding that the hospital management should provide are things that patients' relatives have to buy from outside to the facility when they are on admission. And so it tells you that it is very, very terrible. Now, the whole scenario is about the fact that for the past year and some months, the hospital has been running without some basic consumables like gloves, like gauze and others that are essential for some basic healthcare at the facility. So you go even line for them to pass infusion, you go to the hospital, you are told to go and get these things. Those are the basic ones. But when it comes to the medical equipment, I must say that, for instance, the TC scan, for instance, for over 3-4 years, this machine has not been functional. You go to the MRI unit. The last time that we visited the hospital in October, the hospital complained that for several months it's not been working. So patients needing these health care services will have to travel to Kumasi and Accra to get these services. And so, Alfred, it's just unfortunate that all these things are coming up now because of the incident that happened at the hospital. But I must say that these challenges have been at the facility, not today.
I see. And if they didn't have to necessarily take this particular incident for these matters to be brought to the fore, fundamental question is if the district or the regional health director is aware of this. And as you are indicating, this is not news to the people who are there. It's like you're living this on a daily basis. The lack of basic medical facilities and as we saw it, that supplies there, they don't have it. But just for the benefit of our viewers, Chris, hold on a bit for me. For the uninitiated who haven't seen this video we're talking about, this is the exchange between the Minister of Health, Kwabena Kando, and the officer in charge yesterday when the minister visited the facility. Take a look at this.
Of a patient.
The way you are behaving, for even from the minister. I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to be how can you behave like this? So it means that you're doing Westings here. It means that you're doing Westings here.
Saying, and this is just part of it. You know, I was saying, Chris, that the lack of this basic medical supplies, you say you've lived with it for months, if not years. Any indication of whether, based on your interactions with the hospital's authorities, they had escalated this to the regional health directorate for the health minister to be aware of this?
Yes. So, Alfred, they have always informed the regional health directorate about it because it's common information that is in the Greater Tamale metropolis. Everybody is aware of this challenge. But Alfred, one thing is that, let me say this, that since October 2024, I have been on the hospital to grant me some interviews on some of the challenges that the staff themselves talked about. But you go there and it's like you are not granted the permission to go and interact or take some visuals of these facilities, despite the condition that the hospital finds itself. And so, first of all, I would say that probably the hospital management did not want these things to be escalated beyond the walls of Tamale. Probably that was why they did not grant us audience when we needed to talk to them. That is one. Two, I must also say that the the staff have been working in this condition. Some of them sacrificed beyond what we saw them talk about. I must say that when you go to the accident and emergency unit, this is the place that a lot of cases come through. And when you go there, they complain on daily basis that they don't have the basic consumables and other equipment to work with. Yet they get cases and management is doing nothing about it. And so this is something that they have managed over the period without any solution coming through. But hospital management also yesterday indicated to the minister that oftentimes they have used their IGF to work on some of the equipment, but because they don't have enough money to be able to work on it totally, they only touch a few aspects of it that they feel like they can change at the moment with the resources available to them. And so they do it, and within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it breaks down again. That accounts for some of the machines not being functioning for 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 8 years. Some of the machines at the hospital, since they brought them to the hospital, have not been operational. And they have been there covered with their rubbers. They call them tear rubber equipment that do not serve the purposes for which they have been brought to the hospital. And so, Alfred, the challenges of the hospital have lived with the hospital for several months, if not years. And hospital authorities, that is the staff there, have managed to cope with the situation till now that this incident happened. But Alfred, yesterday, it's just unfortunate that the incident happened because it was an opportunity for the media to be able to escalate some of the challenges. But unfortunately, that incident took the shine of the challenges that the hospital was faced with. Alfred, let me also say on record that at the time before the confrontation between the health minister and the head of the accident and emergency unit, he was trying to explain the reasons, and that's how come the ventilator issue comes in their request for some changes before they resume this strike. They talked about the fact that there wasn't any ventilator to move the said patient who passed on at the emergency unit to the ICU, and that accounted for the death that was recorded. One of the doctors actually, Alfred, mentioned that this is no news to them because they have seen several deaths as a result of these gaps.
The ventilator not working.
Yes.
The ventilator not working has caused a number of deaths. So this one was not news to them.
Yes, that was exactly what one of the nurses said. We have the video and we can play it because there was a female doctor who is assistant to the head of the accident and emergency unit. She said that, in fact, this is not news because usually when they bring such cases and they need to move them to the other referral center, that is the ICU, they don't have ventilators to move them, and they cannot move them like that. So the much they do about nothing, and this results into some deaths. So that incident is not news. And Alfred, let me also establish this fact. That was where the scene occurred, because as at that time, the said officer indicated that they have recorded some deaths in the past as a result of these challenges. So he does not understand why this one is being blown out of proportion. And that was where the MP for Tamale North took an offense to it and said that, well, it is blown out of proportion because a life is lost and every life matters. So he was also trying to establish the fact that, yes, a life is lost, but it's not our fault because we tried to do our best. It's just that we didn't have the incentives to be able to manage the patient till the patient gets to the ICU.
And Chris, I do appreciate this blow-by-blow account of what happened because you were there. This incident we're talking about happened right before your eyes, the verbal exchange that has led to all of this. Now we do know that this man behind me, Dr. Adam Atiku, has been fired. One of the demands they are making, the medical doctors at the Tamale Teaching Hospital are making in this press statement that's coming through, breaking news on the plate, is that they want the health minister to apologize to him. Okay? And then also the officer in charge yesterday. As to whether that's going to happen is one that we will wait to see. But then also, even beyond that, there is also another appointment that has been made. So Dr. Atiku was fired yesterday. Today, there's been an appointment of a new CEO. This is what we do know. The president has appointed Dr. Abubakar Bawa Abdullahi, a senior official advisor for Development Studies, UDS, as a new chief executive officer of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Chris, how's the reaction been?
Yes, so Alfred, I must say that the reaction hasn't been the best because people are saying that, one, the appointment of the new CEO, he currently is the head of the MRI unit, and they are saying that even the MRI unit has not been able to manage it well. So how will he be able to manage an entire hospital like Tamale Teaching Hospital? Others are also of the view that it's a political appointment, and once it's a political appointment, he's just being appointed to occupy a set position, but not to deal with the situation, because as it stands now, he will not be bold enough to confront the authorities or powers that be in Accra to be able to bring the changes there. We all do know that the new CEO contested the Karaga constituency parliamentary seat on the ticket of the NDC in the 2024 general elections. And so these comments coming from the general public on political grounds is not surprising, Alfred.
Water, for instance, has not been flowing through the taps of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. And for how long has this been that they don't have water flowing through the entire hospital? Patients will have to buy sachet water
Yes, Alfred, it is very true that patients have often bought water, some even before their relatives go through some surgical procedures, will have to order water from tanker services for the hospital before they undergo some medical procedures. Let me also say that I have observed and witnessed some staff of the Tamale Teaching Hospital buying water themselves in jerry cans to be able to operate well. And so the water situation in Tamale is actually affecting operations at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Let me also state that the hospital has oftentimes negotiated with the Ghana Water Company Limited so that their tankers will be able to fetch as early as possible from the points that Ghana Water Company Limited have provided for them to go and fetch. Unfortunately, because of the situation in Tamale, when they go, they are not given the opportunity to fetch and return. In a day, they are able to fetch about 6 tankers. And the hospital management have indicated that the dialysis unit alone consumes about 4 tankers a day. And so because it uses a lot of water, that unit uses a lot of water. And so they are left with only 2 tankers that they manage for the entire facility. And so, Alfred, admissibly, the water challenge is actually impacting healthcare services at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. That is not the only challenge. They also have issues of power. Yesterday, while we were there with the health minister, the lights went out like 6 times right in front of him, and management told him that that accounts for the breakdown of some of their machines that they are unable to work on.
I see, because that's one of the demands they are making, that they want consistent power supply uninterrupted in the hospital. But then, Chris, you referenced a lady, a nurse that you spoke to, who indicated that the people dying as a result of the ventilators at the hospital not working, it's not new to them because they've seen so many people die because of the ventilators not working. So what's the big deal about this one that we're all talking about? The lady said this to the minister. We have a video of that. Chris, you referenced that video. Let's play it.
Okay. One here, and there's a staff. Yes. The staff also have one here. And that's why you brought me here, to come and see. Yes. Is that not the point? Yes. Meanwhile, it's not accessible to the patients.
No, it's only accessible when the taps open.
So
that's the situation. So for a while now, water hasn't been flowing in there. And that's why I wanted you to see. You see that there are sachets. People enter there and they use sachet water and then just dump it there. And that's the situation.
at least even if it is not being used, you can't clean the place and lock it.
There's no water.
No, you can clean the place and lock.
There's no water to scrub the place.
You don't have water to do anything. You can't make arrangements for the
gallon,
tankers,
yes.
the tankers to bring water, and so you don't have that arrangement. Dr. Tig, you are telling me that you can't have water for this place to run this facility.
No, we get okay, yes.
This is Dr. Valentine. He's the HOD of the emergency. And one night, we didn't have water at the emergency, and he himself got them to get the yellow barrels to come and bring water for the nurses to work. So, at our level, sometimes my HOD does his best.
Yes, Doc, I agree. And I'm the first person to admit that there are challenges with respect to water in Tamale. But that's why you're a leader here, that's why you're a CEO here. Not until we resolve the issue completely. I've been on the committee for a very long time, and we have always been talking about this. And we think, we know that you have a way of providing water for the facility until we solve the issue permanently. And that is what you have been briefing us. We know that the Tamale water challenge goes beyond the facility. It's well known in the country and all that. But you cannot tell me that, because if you are not very careful, people come here and pick the diseases from here and go home. That's what it is. And you know, you're a medical doctor.
Yes, sir.
So they will come here because there's no water. The person is sick. He comes here and picks the disease and he goes with the disease.
Well, we'll get into a lot more of that. The video frozen a bit. But Mr. Austin Game is a labor expert. He's joining us on Zoom for a bit more on this. Mr. Game, this development just coming through right now, the medical doctors, Tamale Teaching Hospital, they've declared a strike. In fact, a suspension of the emergency services and then also the outpatient services as well. And they are demanding a number of things be put in place immediately, including an apology to the CEO who has been replaced or who was fired yesterday, and then also the officer in charge. And then the health minister also holding his position in that video we just saw. I mean, how can a truce be reached in the interest of the patients who are there?
Look, I appreciate the concerns raised by the two parties, but that said, labor and management are bound together to work productively in a manner to serve the people who pay their monthly pay, the taxpayers. So anything that will be done by any party to disrupt activities for which purpose they have been engaged is unproductive and not helpful. I think that the parties have a concern, they have raised it, but the language, I also concede that we come from different backgrounds, but cultural, organizational culture should tell us that we have to treat one another in a manner that is appropriate. Now, the minister went there unannounced together with his colleague. They observed something, they've raised it. They were not condemning the gentleman, the doctor who spoke. In fact, they spoke nicely about him. I've checked because I know I normally would be engaged publicly to speak about these issues. So I have checked and I realized that both parties were only concerned about how they can productively get the hospital to be helpful to the parties who come there, especially patients. So there's no need for the GMA's strong-worded thing demanding apology when they have not been, they've had one side from their people and they didn't hear the other side. They were hearing some on air because I listened to both parties at a certain point in time and both realized that perhaps they could have toned down a little bit more. So I pray and ask that they have to work collaboratively. They have no choice. We are serving people, and the public interest is supreme in this matter, not the interest of the doctor, not the interest of the minister. The interest of the whole nation is at stake. So I pray that they would take it easy, and if there is something that one party do not understand, you don't necessarily have to engage in the media warfare immediately, because they are not political, they are not, when it comes to labor management relations, it has nothing to do with the partisan politics that we play in Ghana here. It has all to do with ability to get things done, to satisfy the people who pay their monthly pay, the taxpayers. So please, for heaven's sake, I pray that they will get together. The minister can invite them, and they can sit down and talk, and everybody express the concern that they have. I think that will be an answer to the solution.
So what would you expect of the health minister, I mean, beyond today, to engage? Because then again, we are seeing the position that the medical directors there in the Tamale Teaching Hospital have taken, and essentially what the Ghana Medical Association is saying as well. What do you expect in the coming days in reaching some agreement, a truce on this particular incident?
If I were in his shoes, tomorrow I'll call my chief director in the ministry to write inviting GMA either on a Monday or Tuesday next week for a meeting, for them to have a conversation around what happened at Tamale Teaching Hospital, to enable both sides to come to terms with the reasoning why these things happen. And GMA will also understand their side of the story. They will also understand GMA's side of the story, and then they move forward. This type of things, we don't sweep them under carpet or nib it in the bud. That is an old traditional method of managing people's side of business. We are living in 21st century. It has to be harmonious labor management relations. If you like, sound labor management relationship. They have no choice. And any union leader or management people who are desirous to use traditional pressure adversarial methodology is an old methodology. It's no longer valid. It's no longer valid. It's about talking. It separates us from other people, other things that live somewhere else. We are human beings. We can talk. So let's get together and talk gently and be honest to one another, open. The labor law in Section 9 enjoins the employer to have an open-ended engagement with the working people. They are supposed to share information. They are supposed to protect one another's interest and not vilifying one another, not washing dirty linen in public space. And the people who contribute to pay their monthly pay are watching. They are not happy. It's very important.
Well, I appreciate your time on this. Thank you so much, Mr. Austin Gomez, a labor expert. There's been a number of statements coming through on this, and the minority team on the Health Committee of Parliament issued a statement earlier. They are describing the actions as unlawful. They want a formal apology to Dr. Valentin Akopa and the staff of Tamale Teaching Hospital. The Ghana Medical Association also issued a statement asking on that same path of apology, even to the former CEO. But then again, this, just a quick recall, the statement that came through a few minutes ago from the medical directors of the medical doctors of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. They say they want unqualified apologies from the Minister of Health and also the Tamale North MP, Al-Hassan Suhini, be rendered to Dr. Valentin Akopa, all doctors of the Tamale Teaching Hospital and the staff of the Accident and Emergency Department, and a number of other demands that they only say they will resume provision of emergency and outpatient service after they receive the said appropriate apologies. That's what you hear Mr. Game make the point that there has to be a conversation. The management say of the hospital, they want them ensuring that the following are available in the short term for them to work. The list is quite long, and I was then asking that fundamental question that, so exactly how has the hospital been running in the absence of all this? If these constant flow of water, electricity, supply of oxygen and all those that they are asking for is anything to go by. Chris Amakon is our Northern Regional correspondent. He's going to be heavy on this. So stay with us here on TV3 and on 3FM across all media journal platforms. We're going to be heavy on the situation at Tamale Teaching Hospital. Previously, as you heard Chris say, their doors were shut to us. We tried over the last almost 2 years now to get into the hospital, tell their story. Chris did not have access. So with this development, we'll get to tell you what is going on there. Stay with us. After this quick break, we have some more.
Why are more and more professionals choosing Flamingo paint?
Flamingo paint has great hiding ability to cover and transform old walls easily with just one coat.
With just small paints, I paint huge area, meaning more profit for me.
Great value for money.
Guarantees durability for all my buildings.
Flamingo paint, superior hiding, superior coverage, superior durability. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Choco toothpaste, healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Choco toothpaste, Sankofa.
Yenchi, Kel Choco toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Friendly once now.
Hey, that's you.
Improve car.
Yeah.
Captain Mosquito, double the action. Me didn't sasso spray. Mr. Friendly sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso.
If whiskey could talk, Johnny Walker Black Label would sing. With notes that only come with 12 years in a barrel. Sweet, smooth toffee, rich fruit, and a touch of smoke. Tastes as good as it sounds.
Drink responsibly, not for sale to persons under 18 years of age. Not recommended for pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period no say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo medu me fire no ene ma won kra me nu foforo kwa na mkwan mu a eba
and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama nura ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you of Acrobato. Hello hey ohwehwe what chair okay a free bra wo di end point wa dance am me call you no me do so se ma na enkoyie en paso na ma yemre nyina na ma gina sebema na me no be fie for there e ho na nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
Hello, I am Ahmed Haidar, the CEO of the Spot Furniture. I want today to speak about our company. We have all the products for the house and for the office. You have the living room, dining rooms, bedrooms, office furniture, starting from tables to chairs, center tables, wooden center tables. We have carpets for your office, for your living room, for your bedroom, all very nice designs.
If you need furniture for your homes, your offices, schools, churches, even if you are somebody, a photographer who loves to take pictures with beautiful furniture, I would advise that you come to the Sport Furnitures. They have beautiful furniture for everything.
About the prices, you don't need to worry at all because we have very affordable prices. We have big promotions and we run discounts all the time. We offer a free delivery within Accra. You don't need to worry about the delivery. We accept all kinds of payments from Momo to POS to even cash and checks.
Locate the Sport Furniture on the Syntax Road, close to DBS Industries. You can also find them on social media, Instagram and Facebook at the Sport Furnitures.
Our phone numbers for contact 024-5517-594 or 024-115-2006.
The Sport Furniture, the next comfortable furniture near you.
Welcome back. Coming up next, Ghana Journalists Association demands the arrest of the New Patriotic Party third vice chair, Alhaji Masoud, over threats against media journalists. We're here from the president of the GJA at the press conference earlier today. As always, Ghana Tonight is proudly brought to you by Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil Kum Tum Tum Preko and Flamingo Paint, Simply Superior. The president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Jomfo, has called on the Ghana Police Service to cause the arrest of the New Patriotic Party third vice national chair, Alhaji Masoud, over threatening comments against media general reporters. Alhaji Masoud threatened to assault journalists for Media General if they turned up at events or engagements organized by the NPP. Take a look at this.
There has been an impasse between the New Patriotic Party, NPP, and Media General over the past months. The NPP had alleged biased and unprofessional practices against the party by program host of Media General. Based on such concerns, the NPP in January 2025 officially withdrew from participation in all programs on Media General platforms. In our democratic dispensation, this is development, or this kind of development is not strange. It's not new. But it becomes a major issue of concern when such disagreements lead to violence and threat to life. Our attention has been drawn to an incident that occurred at a press conference organized by the NPP on Wednesday, April 16, 2025. And subsequent development that smack the face of media freedom and even constitute threat to life. The NPP press conference was attended by the General Secretary, Justin Frimpong Kodia, and the Minority Leader, Honorable Alexander Afenyo Makin. While the General Secretary was inviting the Minority Leader to deliver a speech, the NPP third National Vice Chairman, Alhaji Osman Masoud, was captured on camera pushing the TV3 microphone set on the eye table to the floor. That action was greeted with memories of disapproval from the General Secretary, Minority Leader, and other party officials who immediately called for the TV3 microphone to be reinstated on the eye table. That gesture by the General Secretary and the Minority Leader to restore order and allow TV3 to cover the event, although Alhaji Masoud was not remorseful, is very commendable. We commend the NPP General Secretary and the Minority Leader for showing a high sense of tolerance and maturity in the face of chaos. Colleagues, a day after this incident, Alhaji Masaudu, in an interview with Kumasi-based Ash FM, said categorically that he deliberately pushed the TV3 microphone down. He even went further to issue threats against reporters of TV3 who may go near programs of MPP. This is what he said, and I quote him. This is a warning to media general. This is a warning to TV3. They should stay away from the new patriotic party. The next time they joke with our program, to wit, we will beat them. We find the actions and comments of Alhaji Masaudu very reckless, reprehensive, and regrettable. His actions and comments are not only a threat to human life, they are also a threat to the lives of the rule of law and our democracy. We condemn them in no uncertain terms and called on the MPP Third National Vice Chairman to withdraw his reckless comment and apologize for same. We also call on well-meaning Ghanaians, civil society organizations, diplomatic missions, and the international community to demand same from Alhaji Masaudu. If the MPP Third National Vice Chairman fails to withdraw those reckless comments and threats, we shall hold him responsible for any attack on TV3 reporter or reporters at the party's program or anywhere close to the party's office. And we want the whole world to likewise hold him responsible. We are informed that the management of Media General have reported the threat to the police, and we hereby call on the police to act decisively on this case. The police must not sit unconcerned. The police must not wait for the worst to happen before they act. We call on the Inspector General of Police and his team to immediately invite or cause for the arrest of what? Of the MPP Third National Vice Chairman.
You can find more of this on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com, and also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook. Remember, Ghana Tonight is always brought to you by Sasso Mosquito Spray and Coil Kuntuntum Preco and Flamingo Paint, simply superior. On behalf of the rest of the team, we do appreciate your company. Join us same time tomorrow for another conversation. My name is Alfred Ocansey. Have a good night.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Sasso insecticide spray and coil.